And, oh yes, then, the urine test. There's lots of them. They're fun to do. Another disclaimer here, there's actually nothing in your urine that can discern which gender you are carrying. It just, you know, it has a 50-50 chance of being right anyway. Some of those ones that I know of are Best Baby, Intelligender, and also the Gender Maker. And I think Best Baby and Intelligender are similar, where they either have an orange or a green result. And on one of them, orange means girl, and on the other one, orange means boy. So they're just the exact same thing, just reversed. The only difference with Gender Maker is that it's like a little, it's not the cup that you pee in with the little particles at the bottom that change color, like Best Baby and Intelligender. Instead, what it has, and I have a video posted here on YouTube for that as well, is it has like a little cassette where you have to like pee in the cup and then take the little medicine dropper and drop it in, and it turns out either pink or blue. And I think I've also read several accounts of women getting purple results, which is supposed to also be at like on the little sheet that they show you, that's like light pink, really dark pink, and then there's like light blue, dark blue, and then it goes into purple. So purple is supposed to be boy. And I took that one and it came up pink. I mean, pink, almost fuchsia right away, which is supposed to be girl. And let's see, that's all the notes I have on that. And so those were all wrong for me. There were only actually two things that were right. I had a gender scan ultrasound when I was exactly 15 weeks, and it's a boy. And then I also had my anatomy scan, which a lot of people also refer to as the gender scan, but it's actually an anatomy scan. I think a week or two ago, I think about 2 weeks ago, and he's definitely a boy. So, one thing that was right for me, there were only two out of all the different things out there. The first one was the moon sign, and this one, the theory is you have to know the exact date and time that you conceived, and then what you do is you can find a chart. You can just actually Google it. If you put in, if you conceived in 2010, you put in 2010. If you're, if you conceive in 2011, you put in 2011. And then I think I also searched for, I think the one I did was 2010 moon signs. And every, I think 2 to 2.5 days, the moon moves into a different zodiac sign. So I looked up for myself, let's see, the moon entered Gemini on September 1st at 2:14 a.m. and it left Gemini on September 3rd at 6:50 a.m. And since I know exactly the date and time that I conceived, it was either, let's see, I think it was September 1st between 10 p.m. or then I think I had my second IUI was September 2nd at 10 a.m. And since donor sperm only lasts for 12 hours, that pretty much narrowed it down for me that I conceived on September 2nd, which the moon was in Gemini, and Gemini is a masculine sign. So say you look up, say you conceived December 13th, and it was the moon was in Pisces, and then I believe Pisces is a feminine sign. So that's how you discern that. That was actually correct for me, which it could just be by chance. I don't really know. The only other gender predictor that was correct for me was the Tell Me Pink or Blue test. And what that is, it is a blood test. It's not fun. It's something you can actually pick up at the drugstore, or you can order on their website, tellmepinkorblue.com. And it's a little kit that you get, and they have like little kind of like lancets, like when you do glucose testing if you're diabetic. But I think instead of just a little needle, I'm not sure if it's just a little needle, if it was like a little tiny razor or something there, but it hurt really bad. And there's like 4 circles on a sheet of paper that you're supposed to fill with your blood droplets. And I think think they did give me 4 lancets, and I ended up going through like 4 different fingers the first time. It was bad. I'm not gonna lie, it was painful for me. Yeah, it was actually worse for me than getting blood drawn. Poke the finger, then you're like trying to like squeeze the blood out of it, and oh yeah. And so you have to have, I think, out of the 4 circles on the paper, a minimum of 3 filled in with blood, but they'd prefer 4. So I did that and mailed it off. I think the cost for that, I think it was around $100. It's not cheap. But with that test, what they're doing is they're actually looking at the maternal blood, and they are scanning for a Y chromosome. Females have XX chromosomes, male have XY. And there's some theory, supposedly it's been scientifically proven, it's maybe debatable, as to after, I can't remember the number of weeks of gestation, maybe 9, I think after 9 weeks gestation, that some of the fetal blood cells somehow get washed out or cleansed or something through the maternal's blood. So if females have an XX chromosome and they're scanning your blood and they find an XY chromosome, well, I don't have XY, I have XX, so therefore my fetus must be a male. Some of the negative things that I have heard about this test were for women that had previous pregnancies where they gave birth to a boy, or if there were males present in the house while they were testing. And I think the problem with that, this specifically says on the test to make sure there are no males present while you're, even as soon as you open the package. But I think you have to remember that you're constantly shedding skin cells, and you have to clean the entire surface and everything. So if you don't clean the entire surface, or if there are males present while you're taking the test, I'm assuming that it can get contaminated by skin cells or such microscopic little whatever pieces of DNA getting into the test. That one did come back boy for me. The first test I took, I believe, was at 11 weeks, and it came back inconclusive. And I'm like, well, okay, what am I supposed to do with that? The good thing was they did send me another, I think at that point I could either ask for a refund minus the processing fee, which I'm not sure how much that was, maybe $30, so I would have gotten 70 out of 100 back. Or they would send me out another test kit for free. So I said, well, send me another test kit. Did the second one. I must have been about 12 and a half weeks then, and it did come back boy. And it was correct, because little Bryce will be here at the end of May, and I couldn't be happier. So I'm going to have a pregnant moment where I start crying now, and I hate that. But yeah, those were the different gender predictors, and only 2 of them were right for me. So that's about all I have for now. I hope this helps some of you out there, you know, looking around, Googling or whatnot, the different gender predictors, and ooh, could it really be right? Could it be wrong? You have to remember, for the most part, most of them, they have a 50-50 chance of being right anyway. So if you really, really want to know early, and you have no patience like I do, I would just say wait and have an early gender scan, ultrasound. That was the one that once I got that, I was like, okay, then the pink or blue blood test was right. And everything else was just kind of a waste of money, pretty much. All right, take care, everyone.